Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's celebrate spring and St. Patrick's Day with this fun Clover illustration. It's perfect for beginners and I actually used it for a greeting card. For this painting you only need one color. A full list of the supplies is in the description below. For this project you do not need an outline. But it helps because it's easier to center your Clover on the page wherever you want it to be and the proportions will be right. So I ended up drafting an outline on the page before. I just used a pencil and a cup. I draw a circle around the cup and then I marked the center of the circle. All of the clover leaves will be inside of that circle that I painted. Next, I'm painting 4 hearts inside of the circle. I will be erasing the pencil lines later on when I'm done with the whole painting. If you feel it's necessary, you can also mark out the center of each of the clover leaves so that your clover leaf has a symmetry to it as well. I love the imperfections, so I'm totally fine if my clover leaf is not perfectly symmetrical. I'm using an oversized brush, which is a size 6. It kind of seems to be a bit excessively large, but it will just help me to get enough pigment on the paper. I do want all of those imperfections within the leaves as well. It just makes it look more interesting. So I don't worry about puddles and blooms. I'm just embracing them for this little illustration. I'm painting those leaves one side at a time, but you can totally draw all of the outline and then just go in with a wet brush and just add water to it and have the pigment from the sides bleed towards the center of the leaf. That looks really cool as well. I just feel it doesn't pop enough for all my spring mood today. Sap green is a fun choice of color for this painting. But you can use any other green color that you like as well, or you could just use a totally different color. It's up to you. If your sap green comes out darker than expected, try mixing in some lemon yellow. It just makes the color shine. You can also embrace some color variations for this. What I mean is you mix your greens yourself. You just mix greens with other greens or just use whatever leftover green you have on your palette and you just have some color variations this way. The top leaf kind of came out pretty flat, so I'm adding a second layer of paint to it, which will make it dark overall, but it will also give me the opportunity to move some pigments around and make it look more interesting. Next, let's add some more concentrated pigment to the center of each leaf. It will bleed towards the outside of the leaf. You can also just add some lines there and let the lines bleed over the clover. It just makes it look interesting and it really looks cool when you have all those blooms on your clover leaf. Remember that your leaf needs to be sufficiently wet for this technique to work. If your leaf is already drying or too dry, it might not bleed as expected. Let's add a stem. I think that it is easier to drag my brush a certain way if I want to create a straight or semi-straight line, so I'm just turning the whole page. I start at the top. I push my brush down to fan out the bristles as I move my brush towards the bottom of the page. This way I create a beautiful stem and the color that is released by the brush is almost evenly distributed. Since my paint is still wet on the clover leaves, I can add some more pigments and let them bleed just to intensify the center of the clover a little bit. Let's finish up this painting with some splatters. I soak up a lot of watercolor with a brush and then I tap it against my finger or against another brush. The sizes of the splatter depend on how much pigment you have in your brush. But also keep in mind that when you hit your finger with a brush, your finger is soft. So if you want to get really small splatters, you should use a brush, as it is a hard object and you will be able to get smaller splatters from that. Once there is only very little watercolor left in your brush, you will see that the splatters become really small. It also looks really cool if you create those splatters with a totally different color, or for example with glitter watercolors. It just gives it a little more shine. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Please let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon with another video.